Hi, Matt Stein, Unique Luxury Travels here, joining you, travel advisor, travel consultant, travel concierge, whatever you want to call us. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I became a travel advisor because I love traveling. Wasn't always the case. I was scared to death to fly up until about 2015 when I went to London because the New York Jets were playing in London and I had to go see the game. I figured it out. I got over my fear of flying, and here we are now, 2023. I've been to close to 40 countries in the past 8 years. One of my favorite ways of traveling is by cruise. It's a luxurious experience, and river cruising is really even better because you don't have sea days built in. They're not larger vessels. It's a lot more boutique. It's a lot more intimate, and you really get to see a lot all at once. Recently, I was on Ama Waterways and a Rhine River cruise, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've done in my life. It was so memorable that I'm excited to bring this opportunity to you with Ama Waterways on the Rhine during Christmas time, teaming up with Luigi Drinks from Instagram and Facebook, who's a world-renowned beer expert. We're going to have great beer experiences through Germany, great wine, again, along the Rhine River, which has some of the best wineries and vineyards in the world. It's just an extraordinary time. And this being Christmas, the Christmas markets in Cologne, the Christmas markets in Strasbourg, in Basel, in Rüdesheim, it's really something special. And I'm going to start sharing my screen with you so you can see some of these experiences and what I'm talking about. Start my slideshow here. As I mentioned, Unique Luxury Travels, Matthew Stein. My phone number might be blocked by the picture in picture. I'm not sure. 917-225-1360 or the QR code. Just scan the QR code. It's got my phone number. It's got my email, Matt at uniqueluxurytravels.com. It's got my website, my Facebook page, my Instagram, everything you could possibly want to know or need to know in order to learn more about Unique Luxury Travels, what we're about, or how to contact me. So, as I mentioned, this is a Christmas market cruise along the Rhine River with Luigi Drinks. We embark on December 19th in Amsterdam. If you sign up for the cruise before the end of March, you get 2 free nights in Amsterdam pre-cruise. That means December 17th, December 18th. And Luigi and I were planning out some wonderful tours for you in Amsterdam, which we'll talk a little bit about later. And of course, the beer in Amsterdam is just phenomenal if you're a beer lover. If you don't want the 2 nights in Amsterdam, that's fine. You can get up to $2,000 back on your stateroom. So just a great opportunity and really something you want to jump on now. Jump on before it's gone at the end of the month. I'm going to show you a little bit about Ama Waterways here and why I think Ama Waterways is a great choice for your river cruising.
Step aboard a world of exceptional experiences, where your journey is our passion. Allow us to share villages that time forgot. Walk along cobblestone streets filled with the lights, paddle through historic town squares, and revel in moments that last a lifetime. When you step aboard Ama Waterways, each day brings a genuine smile that warms the heart. Every river a new culture that inspires. And each course a moment to savor and share. Experience these wonders and delights with Ama Waterways, the heart of the river.
Wow, right? I mean, absolutely gorgeous. And here's a look at what it looks like along the Rhine during Christmas time. You see Cologne, you see Strasbourg, you see shoppers at one of the markets. It is gorgeous. I was there last November as they were setting these up, and just the excitement that it brings to the towns, that the people have as the markets are going up. It it really it's something you need to experience to really be able to understand. And I highly encourage anyone, whether it's on this cruise or another, to get to see these Christmas markets. Doesn't matter your religion, they're just enjoyable. They're beautiful. You see the way the cities light up. Um, it's something really special. I want to show you a little bit more about these Christmas market cruises on AMA waterways and what makes Christmas time along the Rhine so unique, so special. I want to stop talking and let AMA take it away.
Welcome to your home for the holidays. At AMA Waterways, we're proud to have the most decorated ships on the rivers in Europe. But the only thing that sparkles brighter than the Christmas lights are the welcoming spirit of the crew as you arrive on board. The European Christmas markets are such a wonderful tradition in grand cities like Vienna, Budapest, Cologne and Strasbourg along the storied Rhine and Danube rivers. Be enchanted by these charming markets brimming with color and lights as the aroma of hot mild wine and gingerbread fills the air and lovely handicrafted ornaments shine from the Christmas market booths. You won't want to miss the unique charm of the smaller holiday markets along the Rhine Rivers in the south of France and the Douro River in Portugal. Each serves up a warm welcome along with their local traditions and delicious holiday treats. The immersion of the holiday magic continues on board with our own enchanting decor and festive events like tree trimming, Christmas caroling, cookie decorating, and even the visit of old St. Nicholas. Join us to celebrate your holidays in true European style aboard a Christmas market cruise with AMA Waterways.
I'm getting hungry just seeing some of the food that is in that video. It is really one of the great food experiences I had, was on this AMA Waterways cruise. If I can advance the slideshow here. See how I screwed this up, but please bear with me as we continue along our way. That wasn't what we wanted, right? Let's put that and continue along our way. So sorry about that. As I say, this is the first time I'm doing this, so bear with me with some of the technical difficulties, some of the great things we'll see along our cruise. One of the things that really makes AMA special is it's personalized. Every aspect of this cruise is personalized to you. You matter to them. I'll be there with you. You matter to me, of course. The service is catered to what you want, to what you need, so that you're traveling the way you enjoy traveling. It really is like a family. It's a small river boat, less than 100 rooms, less than 200 people. So it's very intimate, and the crew gets to know who you are really quickly. And it sounds cheesy, but it really is like a big family when you're on board, and that's enjoyable, especially when we're talking about the holidays. Some of these pictures just give you an idea of some of the different locations we'll see: Cologne, Rüdesheim, Strasbourg, Basel. some cities I'm not very good at pronouncing, so I'll only butcher them once or twice, and this won't be one of those times. But it really is just a fun time. Along the Rhine is some of the best wine in the world. It's world renowned, and Ama Waterways really knows how to connect you with these wine experiences, whether they're tastings, whether they're walks through the vineyards, whether it's meeting the vintners. It's quite a lot of fun, and you'll explore wines across the region. Um, the the cruise comes with wine hosts, vineyard and cellar tours. You'll taste regional wines, explain you'll learn the differences between just maybe a 20-mile stretch as to what makes the grapes different. You'll connect with the vintners, and the food and wine pairings at every meal are just phenomenal. I mean, the wine really enhances the taste of the food. It's hand selected every night by wine experts on board. It's something that you won't forget. I want to pull out my phone here as we talk about the dining, because I cannot pronounce this for the life of me. I took a note that hopefully I can do a better job of pronouncing the award-winning dining experiences. I'm a Waterways, a member of Le Chine de Routière. It's French, so I butcher it, but it's an award-winning dining experience that only some of the best chefs in the world can achieve. So you know what you're eating is going to taste good. It's locally sourced cuisine, personalized service. And when I say personalized service, I'm a picky eater, like really picky eater. If you're watching this and you know me, you know how picky I am. And they catered to my specifications every single meal. And I wasn't the only one they did that for. There were a couple dozen of us who had different requirements for our meals. All on board dining comes with unlimited wine, beer, and soft drinks during lunch and dinner. There's sparkling wine and fresh juice with breakfast and lunch. The chef's table is really a unique luxury experience that we're going to talk about a little bit more in a second. I just wanted to mention it. Everything about the dining experience is luxurious, and it's included in the price. That's the thing with these river cruises. It is all inclusive on AMA, including the smiles. Fine wine, food sourcing and integrity, high standard of cooking. Everything is cooked daily. No convenience. Nothing is ever frozen. Fresh local ingredients delivered by suppliers. Chefs go to the local markets at every port. You see this happen. You see the food being delivered. You see the chefs leaving the ship with you in the morning while we're going to tour on excursions and see the Christmas markets and wine tastings and viewing some of the oldest churches in Europe. They're at the food market buying locally sourced food, cage-free eggs, crate-free pork, and fresh locally caught fish. You know that not only are you going to have great food, you're going to have healthy food, you're going to have fresh food. And that really makes a world of difference. This is the chef's table, or at least some of the dishes from the chef's table when I was on board last November. Some braised short rib there, a shrimp dish to start with. And in the bottom corner there was this wonderful champagne and raspberry sorbet drink. I only had a couple. I probably could have had a couple dozen. It was the taste was just so good. I can still remember it. It was so sweet, so enjoyable. This was the ship I was on. I was on Ama Lucia. We'll be on Ama Prima this year. It's basically the same exact ship. You can see the Ama Lucia when we were in Cologne with the famous bridge there. This is what it looked like in the top corner. As I boarded in Basel, our cruise is going to actually end in Basel, start in Amsterdam with those 2 free nights in Amsterdam pre-cruise that I mentioned a little earlier. And this was one night as I was walking back to the ship near Rüdesheim. That castle was what was my view when I went to bed and when I woke up in the morning. I mean, just phenomenal. I'm going to show you what it looks like inside the room. And it was actually, this video was taken when we were at this stop. So you'll really see that castle again. I mean, you walk in, the room's about 270 square feet, so decent size, queen size bed, a nice size bathroom. The shower's got plenty of room for you to make sure that you can stretch whatever you do in the shower. There's plenty of room, your large screen TV. And here's what I love, the dual floor-to-window ceilings. And as I say, you step out there, I've got my little balcony or terrace, and boom, look at that castle. I mean, you wake up and that's what you see in the morning. It's remarkable. It was so enjoyable to get to experience these. And when you're talking about experience, and I mentioned Luigi earlier, let's talk about the beer experience, especially in Cologne, where they're famous for Kolsch beer. You see some of the beers I had. Yeah, I had a lot of beer when I was in Cologne. You can only get Kolsch beer in Cologne. So I decided I was going to take advantage of it. And I saw so much as I went from brew house to brew house, tasting the different Kolsch beers. Germany is what a lot of us think of when we think of great beer. Luigi Corraduzzo, who is Luigi Drinks, is going to lead our beer experiences, whether it's in Cologne or whether Amsterdam and throughout our time down the Rhine. And over the weekend, I got a chance to talk with Luigi about what we can expect on the cruise, his love of beer, how he became a beer expert. Luigi is originally from Italy. He is currently living in Hong Kong. He'll be making his way back to the mainland of Europe a little later this year to move home before our cruise starts. And take a listen as Luigi and I discuss what beer really means to the people of Germany, to the people along the Rhine, and what makes him so unique, and why he is someone you definitely want to be part of his circle when it comes to beer drinking. Take a listen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm in Hong Kong. I'm originally from Sardinia, Italy. And what I do, basically I've been writing beers reviews for years. I started in 2015. First, just sharing on my own page as a personal record. And then I decided to start a Instagram page. And then it's where the beer community in Hong Kong started following me and following my reviews and actually buying the beer according to what I said stuff. So I became kind of known in the beer community here. And then I decided actually to take some certifications about beer, just to make things a little bit more professional.
You're a beer expert. You're a beer cicerone, right? Did I pronounce that right?
I'm not sure if it's Cicerone or Cicerone because originally the word is an Italian word, okay, which is Cicerone in Italian, which means actually chaperone. Cicerone basically is like to lead people to the knowledge of beer. So it's normally thought for beer professional to educate about beer, to explain beers to people, and to make even food pairing with beer. So a wide range. But what I did actually in Hong Kong is the BJCP, which is the Beer Judge Certification Program, which is an American institution about homebrewing. So basically, are those that decide the guideline for the homebrewing, for the styles of beers. So let's say it's not for the beer professional, but is rather to beer perfection, to know the beer and how beer should be, not just the beer. Oh, I like this beer, I give a high score. Actually, it's not the way.
The way I taste beer, the way I judge beer, the way I drink beer, the way people who are watching us probably drink beer.
Yeah, like those that use Untap. I'm not a big fan of Untap because Untap, oh, I like this one. Oh, I like this one. Tastes like strawberries. Wow, I like strawberries. 5 out of 5. But actually, it's not the way the beer should be judged. Should be is this a proper beer? Is made properly, or it needs to be a little bit less subjective and more objective. But
let's talk about this beer cruise, beer and wine and great cuisine on Alma Waterways, and we thank Alma Waterways for taking part in it. So a large part of this journey is in Germany because we're going along the Rhine River during Christmas with the Christmas markets. It's going to be beautiful. What makes German beer different? You talk about being able to judge a beer, and Germany certainly stands out for most beer drinkers as a little different, a little special. So what is it about German beer that makes it, different?
Different, yeah. All right. Germany is an area where one of the roots of the modern beer, let's say, not going back to the Egyptians because they used to be, but for the modern beers, okay, Germany with Belgium and the UK and Ireland, let's see, where the modern beer was born. Yeah, exactly. And then all the modern craft beer, like all the American microbreweries, is also based on these styles of beer. So the modern craft beer industry is based on these 3 big areas. I would say 4 with Czech Republic, but there's more the German style. So German, what makes it different is because each region of Germany is basically a different style of beer. Yeah, so I would say for the south, they have more wheat beers made with wheat. Okay, they have a Weizen with the famous, banana aroma.
Those are my favorite.
And then mostly they make lager, okay? Don't think about lager like Coors Light, that is just an involution of a lager. I would say evolution, involution. Yeah. So different type of lager. So lager is normally brewed with a bottom fermentation. So the yeast is lager yeast put in the bottom, and then there is a cold conditioning. So the cold temperature is required for lager, which is to make the difference with ales. Ales is normally a warmer fermentation is top yeast. So it's a different type of yeast, a different temperature, the different way kind of to make them. So according to their regions in Germany, they have different style of beers, right? For example, in Cologne, and
which is great. I was going to bring up Cologne. I was in Cologne last year, and the beer there is completely different than anything. It's got to be made first off in Cologne for it to qualify as Kolsch beer.
Yeah, Kolsch, which means the name for Cologne, inhabitant or something from Cologne is Kolsch, right? And exists just in Cologne. Originally, it was brewed just in Cologne. Nowadays, became quite popular because it's an easy drinking beer, is fruity, and is a cross between a lager and an ale, which what is actually make it special, because basically they use ale yeast. So it's an ale, technically it's an ale, but it's brewed with lower temperature, like a lager. So it's kind of cross between a lager and an ale, which is similar to the neighboring town, which is Düsseldorf. They make Alt, which is a very different style of beer, but it's the same cross style of beer, like ale, lager beer. So what is typical in Cologne is that everybody go to Brauhaus and just drink beers and eat sausages, and very stereotypical. But yeah, that's the thing. It's a cultural thing rather than a connoisseur thing. Yeah.
When we're in Cologne, we're going to hit up a lot of breweries. It's all in a small area, so you're really able to get from one to another. We're going to try some of the different breweries, and everywhere, it's just so much fun because it's all based around beer and then food. And it's really special in Cologne. They've got amazing Christmas markets there.
Mm.
So it's going to be beautiful looking at during this trip, which starts on the 19th of December, and then obviously goes through Christmas. Cologne's going to be one of our first stops. I know I'm looking forward to it, having been there last year and enjoying it. And one of my favorite parts about it, at least, was the Kolsch beer is served in 8-ounce glasses. So you're able to say,
tubular glasses. Yes.
Right. You're able to say, oh, I think 10 or 12 beers.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh my gosh, you drank a lot. And you're like,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't really drink as much because it's only in an 8-ounce glass, but it's always cold that way also, which makes it, at least to me, more enjoyable. I prefer my beer cold. I can't speak for you or for anyone else on the call. Now, we're not hitting Munich, but I do want to mention Munich as people think about Germany and the beer there. So what's the difference between Munich and maybe the rest of Germany when it comes to the beer making process?
Well, in Munich, they do a lot of lagers, like the Helles, which is basically the kind of the father of the modern lager beer, I would say. Although they're tastier than the commercial beer, of course. But what they do in Germany for their festival, the famous beer fest, in along September, the Oktoberfest,
Right.
They do a lot of wheat beers. Okay, they do a lot of wheat beers that need to have a certain percentage of wheat to be considered wheat beer, because they are very strict with their law for the traditional beer. They have a traditional, which is a German name, I forgot, sorry, to call this law. And to be into the official style, need to follow certain pattern, right? So
you mentioned the wheat beer just now, and earlier you talked about the Hefeweizen, and please, you're the expert. I just know what I read and what I'm told in bars. Hefeweizen is the wheat beer, right? It all kind of goes in one category. We just, depending on where you're from, it's called something different, whether it's a
Weiss beer,
whether it's a wheat beer or white beer, or right. I mean, am I wheat beer also, right? In Belgium, it's WIT.
Yeah. WIT wheat beer, which is different. They add some ingredients like orange peels in Belgium. So Belgium is a different thing. Like in Germany, they're not allowed to add other ingredients except for malts, hops, and yeast. So this the water, of course. Yeah. Also, the water makes the difference in beer, because beer are brewed according to the local water. Okay. So what, in fact, in many modern breweries try to recreate the water for a certain type of beer. So they engineer the water to deliver the same feeling of the original style. There are, as you say, yes, in Germany they call Weiss beer, which means white beer, or the wheat beer. There are different types. There are dark or clear, which are crystal Weizen, for example, is made in the filter, so it's very clear, right? While the traditional one is hazy and it's like kind of yellowish orange with a lot of banana ester, which is no banana, is coming from the yeast, because the yeast fermentation create like fruity aromas. I don't want to be too technical.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, having been on this particular cruise last year, I know what my favorite beer was, and I tried beer up and down, Cologne, Rüdesheim, Strasbourg, which we'll talk about in a minute, the Black Forest region. I know my favorite, but what beer and brewery are you most looking forward to, or do you even have one yet? Is it maybe too early?
I don't have a favorite brewery in Germany, but I'm keen on finding the new breweries, because of course what we know, if you're not traveling, is the commercial brand have been exported, and there are a lot of gems. Actually, they are the local microbreweries. They don't export; they only sell for the local market. So that is what makes beers interesting, right? That you can actually try the freshly made, because also freshness is a very important thing in a beer. A fresh beer cannot compare to a beer you find on a supermarket shelf. It's totally a different story.
Yeah, so like the stop that I'm most looking forward to, and I love Cologne, but the stop
Yeah.
I'm most looking forward to is when we hit Speyer in Germany, because
Mm-hmm.
that's where I had my favorite beer, at least, and you can't get it
Ah.
anywhere outside of that region of
Mm-hmm.
Germany, which is Domhof. I just fell in love with it. They've got a wheat beer, and they've got a
Mm-hmm.
regular lager and a pilsner, and all of them are just incredible. And I remember talking to the people at the bar, and
Mm-hmm.
them taking such pride in it. And for me, I'm excited to get to introduce other people to it, because it's like I say Domhof, and it doesn't mean anything to people in the US. It obviously doesn't mean anything to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
people in Hong Kong. Um, but like to me, I just the taste of it, the crispness, the fruity flavor a little bit.
Freshness.
Yeah, that freshness to it. I mean, it really is remarkable. Um, and we're talking about the really ultra micro brews here. Those
Yeah.
have blown up in popularity across the globe over the past
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
decade or so. What's made those really come to the forefront of the beer world?
Actually, it's difficult because it starts worldwide, like uh, it started in the States earlier, like maybe around 20 years ago. There were some famous
Mhm.
ones in California that started making some very popular IPAs, right?
Right.
And then they pop up everywhere. So and the funny thing is, in Hong Kong, we get a lot of American beers that Americans don't get from the East to West Coast, for example, because they don't produce enough to do cross
Okay.
states, but they rather export because they can make more money. Yeah, but anyway, they became popular because the home brewing became popular, and many home brewers actually they grown up and decide actually to start a brewery. And this it goes beyond the traditional beer areas. I will say the traditional beer areas probably they keep brewing their own beer, their own style, although there are new style, new modern beers now, even in Germany. They don't follow the rules, the German rules, let's say.
Okay.
But everywhere in wine countries like France or Italy, or even in Asia, Asia is very big. There are a lot of microbrewery with high quality beers, which are not made by grown up home brewer, but they rather hire professional brewer from other countries, and they basically build a new industry. So it's getting popular everywhere, and you don't have the traditional style. For example, go to France or Italy, you don't have the traditional way of making beer, but rather modern beer.
What would you say to people who are surprised maybe about beer in France, and particularly in Strasbourg?
Mhm. Well, being basically close to Germany, of course, it got some influence in the beer culture. Yeah. So I don't recall any local style for Strasbourg, but I'm sure they do a lot of lagers from like German style lager. There are lots of local breweries, microbreweries. Not because in France they used to have, they still have actually a traditional style, which is beer de garde, which means like beer to keep, which is made somewhere near Belgium. So it's actually Belgian style type of beer.
Okay.
But the rest of France is more overwhelmed by wine, always being overwhelmed by wine and pastis. They love pastis there. Yeah. But yeah, of course, actually, France, I think, I may be wrong, but I heard is the country in Europe with more microbreweries.
Yes,
And
it is.
outside France, you can't find much French beer because they just consume it internally for the local market. And you can obviously visit their brewery with tap rooms and food most of the time now, which is another style that people are doing in Europe. Open a brewery with connected tap room, of course, and then they have like a gourmet restaurants pairing, and so actually it's around experience, not just the beer.
And we're talking a lot about beer because, Luigi, that's what you're an expert in, but there are going to be plenty of wine tastings, some great beer stops during this cruise as well, which I know I enjoyed my first time around. I'm excited to introduce you and everyone who's joining us on this cruise to enjoy the Riesling. I mean, I fell in love with white wine. I originally was, when I started drinking wine, I liked white wine more than red wine, and I became more of a red wine kind of guy. But once I went on this cruise last year, I really fell in love with the whites again, just remembering the fruitiness and the sweet taste of them. And, you know, you really get to explore that on the Rhine. But we start our trip, we start our journey in Amsterdam. And as I've mentioned countless times already, you know, if you sign up for this cruise by March 31st, you can take two free nights in Amsterdam, 3 days, kind of. You know, we got to get on the cruise on that third day. Amsterdam's got its own beer scene. I mean, its own beer world. What can people really expect in Amsterdam as we take advantage of those two nights?
Well, in Amsterdam, being actually very close to Belgium, so they had always an influence on traditional Belgian style of beer. But recently, in the Netherlands as well, we got a lot of microbreweries. So we find rather modern style of beers that are very big, world-renowned breweries in the Netherlands nowadays. So you can expect very high quality beer. But we're talking about modern style beer. So from the IPAs to the imperial stouts, there is a brewery, particularly the Molen, which is excellent for imperial stout. So
yeah, it's so much
beer,
more than Heineken, right? I mean, everyone thinks about Amsterdam and the Netherlands, and Heineken comes to mind, or Amstel.
Yeah, of course.
There's that, but there's that modern beer, the microbrew that really is jumping out.
Yeah.
I know my favorite when I was there, and I can't pronounce it. I'm popping up a picture of it right now, is Brouwer Gij. Again, I can't pronounce it for, you know, the life of me.
Yeah.
But it's much more modern, much different than Heineken. Although, you know, the Heineken experience is really something special when you go there. I mean, it's what Amsterdam is known for when it comes to the
it's the famous brands that they started the journey for them. Yeah, Heineken.
So we're definitely, you know, for those of you who are like, oh, I'm a Heineken person, we're definitely going to do a Heineken stop also and learn about their beer making process and the hundreds of years that they've been doing it. Because it's all a little different depending on where you are, and I think that's one of the great parts about this cruise.
I think about I think about Heineken is like any type of these big brands, they are normally brewed locally everywhere in the world. But if you go to Amsterdam, you know, to the Heineken, I'm not sure how the Dutch pronunciation is.
I just know how us Americans
probably is Heineken because they do the H like that. The brewing there must be definitely another level. Also because they make pride of their, you know, to be a part of tours for people to visit the brewery, and anything brewed fresh without being a supermarket in a green bottle, you know, is much better thing. Other quality, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, they really do take pride in it. It's interesting when you go to restaurants and bars there. I mean, Heineken is the beer. I mean, I can talk about different places and different microbrews, and so can you, but it really is that's what they love. They're all about Heineken there. It means something to people who live there. So it's nice to see, and it'll be nice for people to experience that when we're in Amsterdam. Luigi, thank you so much for doing this with us. I mean, I'm super excited.
My pleasure.
You know, Luigi and I, we've only spoken over Facebook. Zoom. We haven't met yet, so this will be our first chance, and I know I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you are too. And you know, for people out there, you know, it's easy to find Luigi on social media. Luigi, how do they find you? How do you want them finding you?
Yeah, mainly do an Instagram page which is called Luigi_drinks, and I recently opened a clone page on Facebook, but it's very new. It's just the same content. I just cross share. Excuse me.
And you're in a lot of
yeah, this is the main.
You'll pop up in a lot of groups. If people are in beer groups, you pop up.
Yeah, yeah. I share in a lot of international beer groups. Most of them actually are based in the States. Like for example, BLS, which is Beer Label Society. I think it's a quite big group.
I'm popping some of them up right now for viewers to see,
Mhm.
give them an idea of some of the pages that you're on. But obviously, once they see you on one, they can just click on you and see all.
Yeah, you can see where I post actually. Yeah, but it's the same content anyway. I just share because I like networking, you know. I just like, and actually I met a lot of people through these groups and these communities, and then being part of some events when possible. So it's something I enjoy. It's a great hobby.
Yeah,
my liver disagrees, but yeah.
So Luigi, we'll see you December 19th. Super excited for it. I hope everyone else is as well. And Luigi, again, thank you so much for joining us. And
you're welcome, and my great pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. So obviously Luigi knows his beer. Probably knows more about beer than all of us put together. We talked about Strasbourg during that interview, and here's a little bit more about Strasbourg. The big picture is another place I can't pronounce too well. It's Parc de l'Orangerie. Just a beautiful park, and you can see how bright the colors still are there, how vibrant it is, even in November. It's magnificent, really, to walk through. Very peaceful. In the top corner is some of the architecture in Strasbourg. If you know Strasbourg at all, or if you don't, it's on the border of France and Germany, and it was a long disputed region. It's gone back and forth as to who's controlled it over the centuries. And you see that mix in the architecture. This picture shows a little bit about it. The further out, more colorful buildings, I guess, the German style, and then you start to see a transition a little bit into more of the French, although the German influence still there a lot. We'll go on a walking tour in Strasbourg, and they'll really explain the history of the city, but the architecture and how just you see where people live and who controlled what area at what time. Really an interesting perspective. And then at the bottom is Strasbourg's known for wine, right? France's wine country. And this is a wine tasting that almost looks like a science experiment in the vials there. Really unique wine experience at a local shop I found. There's some orange wine that mixed in there if you can see it. And of course, any wine tasting has to have its cheese, and some of the best cheeses you'll have in the world are coming from France. Showcasing a little bit more about some of the regions we'll visit. The big picture here is the Black Forest, the running water. This will be one of our last stops, and it really is so peaceful walking through the Black Forest. You don't hear anything except for your footsteps and the sound of the rushing water. It is incredibly serene. It is peaceful. It really helps center you. It was something I won't forget. I've got a little post on YouTube about it, so you can check it out there. I think it's posted on Facebook as well. I'll double check. In the top corner is Rüdesheim, the heart of Riesling country, if you will. That's looking down at some of the vineyards. A photo I took. All these are my pictures. You see again how vibrant the colors are there in November. Obviously the grape season isn't as high. this time of year, but you can still see the production, still walk through. We'll visit some wineries there. A local family winery who's been in business for hundreds of years. They'll show us how they make the wine. They'll walk us through the vineyards, do some tastings. It really is remarkable. And then in the bottom corner is one of the hundreds of castles we'll see during this cruise. There's a 30 or 40 kilometer stretch along the Rhine where there are more than 100 castles, and you can almost get whiplash looking from left to right and right to left to catch all of them. It's about 3 hours, and it's a 3 hours you'll always remember. It's 3 hours. It really is remarkable just standing on the ship outside and taking in all of these magnificent castles. And magnificent really is the only word I can think of to describe them. I showed you that picture of Rüdesheim. Rüdesheim is known for Riesling wine. Is also known for its unique coffee making, which includes some coffee, some liquor, some chocolate, whipped cream, and a little bit of fire. Here, take a look at what I'm talking about. How often do you see your coffee on fire? But that's what they do in Rüdesheim. It's called Rüdesheim Cafe. There's a different type of coffee. There's your big bottle of liquor. The coffee's already poured in there. A little bit more coffee goes in, and you're going to eventually see some whipped cream and then the chocolate topping. Not a big coffee drinker, but this was enjoyable. It was very tasty. It was a late night treat for us, and it's something, if you like coffee, you really will enjoy this. And that's the locally brewed hard liquor that is included in that coffee mix. Big picture here is Lanik Castle. This is exclusive to us. We'll get to see it because we're on AMA waterways. This is not a castle that other tourists get to step inside of and really explore and see. This is a picture of the outside of it because I just happen to like this picture. The indoor is just remarkable, and the stories that you'll be told, and learning more about the history and who lived there and how they lived there. Speaking of history, the other photos are about history as well. The top one is in Cologne, and that's a wall built 2,000 years ago by the Romans. Obviously, that placard in the middle wasn't there back then, but the rest of the wall is what was built 2,000 years ago, and it really shows just how far along that civilization was, how advanced it was. And the bottom corner is, I don't know a better way of describing it than a fountain. Now it's just decorative, but hundreds of years ago, it was used to drink wine. It's right outside of one of the churches there, and it was where wine was served after services on Sundays. We've mentioned Amsterdam a few times because that's where our cruise starts. There are 2 free nights pre-cruise if you want, or again, the $2,000 off your stateroom. And when you think of Amsterdam, obviously windmills, or the Netherlands, I should say, windmills and shoemaking, and you see some of that here. And we're going to go tour and take advantage of these very unique experiences in the Netherlands. Famous statue in the city of Amsterdam. The Netherlands is also known for its cheese making, and I want to show you a little bit about how they slice the cheese in Amsterdam, and then a little bit more with the windmills. So let me pull up this next video. And
you leave a little bit at the bottom on the wax so that the paste can stuck inside the wax layer. You push it down, and then you have this little turning machine. What you do is you don't push too hard, but also not too light, just the right touch. And then you keep turning around and turning around like that. And then what you do is you press it at the beginning together. There you go.
That cheese really is great. And here we are at the windmills of, you get a chance to climb on top and get a real close up view of them in Zanchans. And then you also get to go inside and see how they work, how they've worked for hundreds of years. It's loud in there. Obviously, it works off of the wind, so it's renewable energy. Before renewable energy was a thing, but it really gives you a different perspective of how these massive windmills work. And when you get back on board the Ama Prima, this is what you can expect. You've got a beautiful lounge. That's the library section of it. Very relaxing, very large space, very quiet space though, because of the way it's built and designed. You go back to your room, you've got a little balcony over there for a glass of wine, watch the countryside go by as we sail down the Rhine. And yeah, it's December, but you can still take advantage of the pool, of the outdoor pool. It's heated. Trust me, I've been in it. It's enjoyable as you're sitting in the heated pool and you're watching the snow come down around you. It's a little cold when you step out of the pool, but the fun that's had in there, and the relaxing atmosphere, it's worth being cold for a second when you get out before you wrap that towel or bathrobe around you. Really, this is luxury refined for the 21st century, for 2023. It allows you to travel how you want. It is service based on your style, what you want. They will cater to you. I'll be there with you as well the entire time to make sure that this is the perfect stress-free vacation. It is all about you. It is everything is specific for you, and it's really just an enjoyable experience, being able to see the things that you see, do the things that we'll do, and then to walk back onto this world-class ship that, again, it's a small ship, less than 100 rooms, so very intimate feeling. And I want to show you a little bit more about Ama Waterways, why I think they're so special, why I choose to work with Ama Waterways. The first half of this video, it's about 3 minutes long, really talks about Ama. The second half, we'll talk about Ama Magna, which is a separate ship that mainly sails on the Danube. If you're interested in learning more about the Ama Magna, you're going to get more of my contact information in a minute at the end of the video, or the Danube. They're both really special, but wanted to show you a little bit more about Ama Waterways and, what's behind this luxury cruise line.
Why the name Ama?
Ama in Latin, amore, means love. For us, there was so much love that went into the creation of our company.
That's the whole reason for Ama Waterways.
Together, we had a dream to create the very best river cruise line that would be out there, ships that we would enjoy ourselves. River cruising is something very intimate. It's an immersion into the culture. You see the country. We are docked mostly in the heart of the city.
The destination is still the countries you visit, not so much the ship. The river cruise really gives you double the leisure time. The ship is a means of luxury transportation from destination to destination.
The Ama Magna was Rudy's dream. We have created the most unique floating boutique hotel on the Danube River, I would say on all the rivers.
This ship is double as wide as most of the other ships on the rivers. It has 4 restaurants. It has large staterooms. It has a fantastic wellness area.
We even have spinning bikes with the most magical view to the river.
We also have a nice massage rooms. We have a hairdresser on board.
We offer some classes, stretching, core, and then we go out on our tours. They are all included. Or maybe you want to just jump into our beautiful swimming pool. I see more and more guests just sitting there, enjoying a glass of wine while the ship is cruising, enjoying the scenery until we arrive in our next port. You open a storybook, and every day you fill a blank page with an adventure. At AMA, we are very proud of our people. Our crew is part of our family. They are so genuine. They anticipate the needs of our guests. We are so fortunate to be surrounded by crew members and our cruise managers with the right attitude, with the right heart, with the sparkle, and with the genuine smile. We look forward to welcoming you to our AMA Waterways family.
And we'll see you on the Danube. Cheers.
They'll see us on the Rhine, but you get an idea there as to what AMA Waterways is about. Let's see here, having my same technical issue as before. We'll X out of that and bring this back up, hopefully. There we go. So here's a map of our cruise that, again, embarks December 19th and ends December 26th. And they talked about it a little bit in the video. The cruise is a way to get from one destination to another. And it really is Amsterdam, Cologne, Rüdesheim, Heidelberg and Speyer, Strasbourg, Breisig, Freiburg, Riviera, which is all the Black Forest region, those last three cities, and then we end in Basel. And each day there are different experiences, different excursions that you can choose from, and it's not a rush. Every day has time built in so that you can do something on your own that you enjoy. Yeah, you can be part of a group, part of our group, but there's time built in for you to be able to enjoy each destination the way you want to enjoy it. Again, I talk about traveling in the style right for you, and that's what this river cruise really allows you to do. It's a way to experience Christmas that is very unique with these incredible Christmas markets, especially along the Rhine, and during Christmas. I mean, the heart of that season. We end in Basel, in Switzerland, little Swiss bliss. Pick up some late Christmas presents for loved ones, and bring back that Swiss chocolate. It's worth it. Worth the calories. Trust me, it really is great. And here we are at the end. Unique Luxury Travels, Matthew Stein, 917-225-1360. My QR code is right there again. It's got my website, my email, my Facebook, anything you might need to contact me or learn more about Unique Luxury Travels. It really is, I'm your travel concierge. That's what I consider myself. I'm your personal travel concierge. It's all about you. I want you to love traveling, as I said at the beginning. My email is matt@uniqueluxurytravels.com. Yeah, the cruise is in December. It seems a long time away. The offer for 2 free nights in Amsterdam, though, or up to $2,000 off your stateroom, ends in the end of March. So let's get this cruise going. Reach out and let's get you booked. Book now so that you can take advantage of these wonderful deals. There's also $100 ship credits. And if you book by March 31st, Unique Luxury Travels will give you half back on your $400 deposit. So your deposit, instead of costing $400, will only cost you $200 at the end of the day. There's so many great reasons to book. It's going to be a wonderful experience. It's an extraordinary cruise, great destinations, expert service, personalized service. So take advantage and shoot me an email, give me a call, scan the QR code, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to stop my screen share now, and I really appreciate your time. As I say, email me, call me, and let's plan this cruise. All right, I'll see you during the Christmas season.